Hello everyone, a very good evening. Welcome to Olive Board. I am Anshul and today we are going to discuss the Module B questions. This is the part 2 for our Module B one shot MCQs. We have already completed Module A and the first part of Module B. We were left with some chapters. We are going to cover MCQs from the left chapters. Alright, so all of these MCQs are very important for your revision. So whenever you're studying, practicing these MCQs is important. It will help you revise, it will help you remember the important concepts. And if you have any doubts or queries in any question, then obviously you can go and study that topic again. That is the importance of practicing MCQs. So every question that comes on your screen, you'll get 15 seconds, 10 to 15 seconds to answer it, and then we'll discuss the correct answer. All right. So let us start with the first question. Okay. What are some of the special features banks may offer with home loans? So we are talking about the important retail asset products. Some features apart from the basic product, which is the home loan, can banks order some add-on features as well? Yes. This will make the basic product or the generic product more attractive for the customers. So, some features, some special features. Mandatory health or life insurance of the borrowers, no prepayment charges on the floating rate loans, repayment allowed up to the age of 70 years in select cases, and provisional sanction of home loan limits before finalization of the property. Answer this question. Which of the following are features of the or additional features of home loan? So, home loan eligibility, salaried employees, professionals, self-employed persons for the purpose of construction, purchase, renovation of a house or flat, or even for the purchase of a plot for of land for the construction of houses. Then the eligible quantum depends upon the customer and the bank relationship. Margin is also subject to RBI's loan to value, maximum of 90% of loans. All of these things we have seen. All right. The rate of interest varies from bank to bank. Other features. Some features that the banks can offer is yes, no prepayment charges on the floating rate loans, repayment allowed up to the age of 70 years, facility for step up or step down EMI is available, inclusion of the income of close relatives for enhanced loan quantum, tax benefits on interest and installments that we have studied in the tax planning part, right? And interest on daily reducing balance basis can also be offered. However, compulsory health or life insurance is not a feature. So the correct answer is 2, 3, and 4. All right. So all the different types of loans. When we are talking about home loans or we are talking about education loan, the features of it, auto vehicle, these are important. So the correct answer is C. Next. Who is made mandatory to be the owner or the co-owner of the house under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban? So this is a scheme which was launched on 25th of June 2015, intends to provide housing for all in the urban areas by the year 2022. All right. So there are classifications of the size of the house for the economically weaker section. We have the EWS, lower income group, middle income group. The classifications are there. So who is to be made a mandatory co-owner of the house? Male head of the family, female head of the family, children of the family, or grandparents of the family. Which of the following is correct? So, yes, the correct answer here basically to promote women empowerment also. The correct answer will be option B, which is the female head of the family. So, here apart from this, you also need to remember the parameters, the maximum loan amount eligible for subsidy. The beneficiary will be a family that will comprise of a husband, wife, unmarried sons, and unmarried daughters. They should not own a pakka house anywhere in their own name or in the name of any family member, then the adult earning member will be treated as a separate household, right? In the case of a married couple, either of the spouses or both together will be eligible for a single house only. All right, so these are some of the features of the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. All right, so the correct answer is B. Next, what is the maximum loan tenure considered for interest subsidy under the CLSS for EWS and the LIG? Yes. So answer this question now. The credit linked subsidy scheme provides subsidy on the home loans taken by the eligible urban poor for acquisition of the new construction or addition of rooms to their already existing houses. We have certain classifications: the economically weaker section, lower income group. Additionally, the middle income group 1 and 2 has also been added, right? So what is the tenor? The maximum tenor. The correct answer is option C, 20 years. And this is just to confuse you. They have given you the classification for EWS and LIG. Actually, the maximum loan tenor considered for interest subsidy is same for all the classes: EWS, LIG, MIG1 and MIG2. The loan tenor is 20 years. All right. Then the interest subsidy that is offered differs: 6.5 for EWS and LIG. For MIG1 category, it is 4%. MIG2 category, it is 3%. Income criteria also differs: 3 lakhs, 3 to 6 lakhs, 6 to 12 lakhs, and 12 to 18 lakhs for the different categories. All right, so this is again a very important topic, so make sure that you revise it. Okay, next question. What is the typical margin requirement for the home improvement loans? For home improvement also, the individuals who have a regular income, employed persons, they're eligible for repair, renovation, upgradation, painting, or any other repairs. The quantum varies from bank to bank. Security, disbursement, moratorium that is offered is 3 months. All of these points are important. And obviously, it differs from one bank to another. Then we also have the home decor loans. So, what is the margin? Typical margin. Is it 5%, 10%, 15%, or 20%? Answer this question: A, B, C, or D. Which of the following is correct? So, yes, typically the margin, it is not fixed. It varies from, no, it actually varies from 20% to 50%, and it differs from one bank to another. Typically, it is 20% to 50%. Yes. Apart from this, repayment period will be as allowed by the banks. These particulars are important. Then, if we talk about the auto or vehicle loan, so what is the maximum moratorium period for car loans for the public sector banks? So, in the public sector banks, they offer car loans. What is the moratorium period? Now, basically, the two-wheeler financing is not a focus area by the banks nowadays. It is mostly taken care of by the non-banking finance companies, the NBFCs. Still, the public sector banks, for extending car loans, there are some norms like the eligibility, the type of advance. What is the type of advance? It is a term loan. This was asked in the previous exam cycle. What is the margin, security, rate of interest, moratorium? Do banks offer any moratorium? In the case of car loans, if yes, then whether it is 1 month, 3 month, 6 months, or no moratorium at all. So, what is the correct answer? The correct answer is actually D. No moratorium is allowed. The repayment to commence from the following month of the disbursement of loan. Yes, absolutely. The correct answer is option D. No moratorium. All right. Repayment also differs. For the new vehicles, four-wheelers, 7 years maximum. Two-wheelers, 5 to 6 years. For second-hand vehicles, maximum 3 years. These are the typical rules which are followed by the banks. All right, next question. Which of the following statements correctly describe the evolution of credit cards? We are not talking about the evolution of credit card in India, but overall around the globe. The first bank card, charge it allowed international transactions. Diners Club card introduced in 1950 was the first general purpose credit card. Early credit cards in the 1990s were made of plastic and offered revolving credit. Franklin National Bank's credit card, introduced in 1951, was limited to the bank's account holders. So, this is somewhat a lengthy question. You need to read the statements carefully. So, I'll give you 15 seconds. Read the statements and then answer. The evolution of credit cards. Let us go through the global scenario. In 1900, the credit card history actually began. Certain oil companies, customer stores, they were issuing proprietary cards. Then the first bank card was issued when? In 1946 by a banker, John Biggins. This card was known as Charge It card. You need to remember these points. 1946, John Biggins, and it was known as the Charge It card. Basically, the card was issued to customers to make purchases from the local merchants, not international. All right, it was allowed to make local purchases. Then, the modern credit card in 1951 was introduced by the Franklin National Bank. And yes, the use of the card was restricted to the bank account holders only. All right, so these two statements we have checked. Apart from this, Diners Club in 1950, it was the first travel and entertainment card. It was not a general card, it was a travel and entertainment card. All right, I hope you remember all of these points. Then we have the Interbank Card Association, which is now known as MasterCard. We also have the Bank America Service Corporation, which is now known as Visa. So the correct answer here will be option D, 2 and 4 only. 2 and 4 only. So Diners Club was the first general purpose credit card, and Franklin National Bank introduced the first credit card formally, and it was limited to the bank account holders. Right? So the correct answer is 2 and 4. Charger did not allow international transactions, and the first cards did not allow revolving credit. It was a later on phenomena. Yes? All right. Next question. What is the charge structure for NEFT transactions as specified by RBI? Regarding the charges specified by RBI, inward transactions at destination bank branches are free of charge for the beneficiaries. Outward transactions at originating banks are free for all the transactions. Charges for outward transactions vary based on the transaction amount, and RBI has imposed a uniform charge for all NEFT transactions regardless of the amount. Answer this question now. Which of the following statements are correct? 1, 2, and 3, 1 and 3, 2, 3, and 4, or 2 and 4 only? 3, and 4. You're saying option C. And obviously, this is before January 2020 because with effect from this amendment, all the applicable charges on NEFT transactions which are initiated via internet or mobile banking portals by the savings account holders have been removed. So let us see the correct answer now. The correct answer is B, 1 and 3 only. 1 and 3 only. So inward transactions are free of charge. Charges for outward transactions vary based on the transaction amount. All right. Inward transactions for the credit to the beneficiary account, no charges are to be levied. Then if we are talking about outward transactions, the charges are applicable to the remitter, right? For transactions up to rupees 10,000, 2.50 rupees was there. Above 10,000 to 1 lakh, not exceeding rupees 5. 1 lakh up to 2 lakhs, not exceeding 15, and so on, right? So 2 and 4 is not correct. Uniform charges are not there, and outward transactions do involve some charges. They are not free of charge. All right. Okay. Next question. What is the role of sponsor banks in the NACH, the National Automated Clearing House System? What is the role of the sponsors here? So here we need to understand how the electronic clearing services was working. We have the ECS credit and ECS debit. Now the NACH has been implemented. What is the role of NACH? For facilitating interbank high volume electronic transactions that are repetitive and periodic in nature. This was facilitated earlier by the ECS, but there were uh, certain issues with ECS, like the categorization, local ECS, regional and national. It has been removed. NACH is centralized. It is a centralized system consolidating the multiple ECS. Apart from that, NACH also has an improved mandate management system, a grievance redressal system, all of these things that we have studied. There are different parties to NACH. We have the sponsor bank, destination bank, the users, clearing times, and settlement facility. The mandate management system is also there. Yes. So, what is the role of sponsor bank? They handle the international transactions at NACH. They forward the mandates from corporate customers to the destination banks for approval. They're responsible for final settlement and they validate the customer details in the mandate approval process. So, sponsor banks can be banks in India who are members of any payment system or channel that is approved by RBI, and they are permitted to originate transactions in the NACH. The sponsor bank is the bank that will forward the mandate given by the corporate customer through the NPCI to the destination bank. So the correct answer is option B. They will forward the mandates from the corporate customers to the destination bank for approval. All right. The bank that will authorize or reject the mandate is the destination bank. Users who are maintaining accounts in the bank, clearing times to undertake multiple presentations, settlement facilities there for the default handling mechanism. So different parties to the NACH has different rules. But the role of sponsor bank is where it starts and it forward the mandates from corporate customers to the destination banks for approval. Clear? If you are getting your answers wrong, this means that you need to revise the topic again. All the videos are already there on YouTube, so you can go through the chapters, the remittance products, which is our unit 11 from module B. Okay, let's move on. What are the key applications and services implemented using Infinet in banking and financial sectors? Yes, so now we are talking about the digitization of retail banking products under the IDRBT, the Institute for Development and Research in Banking Technology, Infinet, the Indian Financial Network, the Structured Financial Messaging System, National Financial Switch, and the IBCC has been set up, right? So, what comes under Infinet? The EFT and ECS, online processing and trading in government securities, centralized funds, querying for the bank and financial institutions, anytime, anywhere banking and interbank reconciliation. Very simple question. The question is asking us what all is the various services which are provided by Infinet. What is Infinet? A closed user network for nationwide communication backbone, right? Infinet was taken over by IFTAS, which was particularly set up for taking the function, headquartered in Mumbai. Later on, IFTAS has been acquired by RBI. I hope you remember the whole history of IDRBT. Basically, for research in the area of information technology, it was established, right? Can you tell me under which committee's recommendation the IDRBT was set up? A committee was set up on technology upgradation under the chairmanship of which person that recommended the setting up of IDRBT? The committee was under the chairmanship of W.S. Saraf. W.S. Saraf. So they recommended the IDRBT. The four institutes were set up by IDRBT, but later on, the functioning of the four institutes were handed over, right? So if TAS was created, if TAS took over the Infinet, the SFMS, and the IBCC, later on it was acquired by RBI. Apart from this, the NFS was handed over to NPCI. So here the correct answer is option D, all of the above. Infinet, various interbank, intrabank applications like SFMS, EFT, ECS, electronic debit, anytime, anywhere banking, all of these have been implemented using the Infinet. Even the fund transfer under NEFT and RTGS, as we know, is being done through the Infinet. All right. So this is the correct answer. Next question. What are the criteria for classifying an asset as a non-performing asset in the banking sector? So we have different categories or classification of the loan accounts for their monitoring. We have the standard assets, doubtful assets, and the loss asset. We have the substandard asset also, right? Under the special mention account category, we have the three categories of 0, 1, and 2. I hope you remember all of this. All right, so which of the following statements are correct? A term loan where interest and or principal remains overdue for more than 90 days. An overdraft or cash credit account remaining out of order for more than 30 days. Bill purchase and discounted remaining overdue for more than 90 days. Any loan where the borrower has declared bankruptcy or insolvency. Yes, answer this question now. When does a retail asset become non-performing? When it ceases to generate income for the bank. So, interest or any installment of principal remains overdue for a period more than 90 days. Before 90 days, we will classify it under the special mention account category. So special mention account 0, 1 and 2, right? 1 to 30 days, it will be in 0, 30 to 60 days in 1, and 60 to 90 in 2. More than 90 days, it will enter into the NPA. So this statement is correct. Then the account remains out of order in respect of the overdraft or cash credit, not for more than 30, but for more than 90 days. For more than 90 days. And the bill remains overdue for a period more than 90 days. Right? So the correct answer is option D, 1 and 3 only. 1 and 3 only. Clear? How do we classify the different types of loans under these categories? First, in the special mention account, then more than 90 days, it turns into a NPA. First, we have the substandard asset, then we have the doubtful categories 1, 2, and 3, and finally, more than 3 years in the doubtful category, it will turn into the loss asset. Right? So, this classification is also very, very important. Make sure that you understand it. Hmm. Now, answer this question. What are the key components of the SARFAESI Act? So, now we are talking about the SARFAESI Act, the securitization and reconstruction of financial assets and enforcement of security interest. Came in 2002 for better managing of the NPAs of the banking sector. So, which of the following is correct? It is a provision for the securitization of financial assets, for the reconstruction of financial assets, mandate for the banks to seek court approval, recognition of security interest. So, as the name tells us, securitization is there, reconstruction is also there, security interest is also there. But the main purpose of the SARFAESI Act was because of the involvement of the courts. Any judgment which was to be given, it took a lot of time and it was hindering with the uh, bank's ability to give out more loans. Yes. So, a legal framework without the intervention of the courts, of civil court or the DRT, the banks and financial institutions can enforce securities in the event of default. Right? So, the correct answer will be C, 1, 2, and 4. Third statement is incorrect. The name itself tells us securitization, reconstruction, and security interest without the involvement of a civil court. All right. How does the SARFAESI Act work? We have already seen. Next, what are the requirements for filing an appeal against the DRT's order? Appeal. What is a debt recovery tribunal which gives its decision? Let's say the borrower, when the SARFAESI Act is implemented or used by the bank, the borrower, if aggrieved by any of the measures taken by the secured creditor, that is our financial institution, for taking possession of the security, they may make an application to the DRT. All right. So the DRT will give its decision within certain days, within 60 days, right? But when a DRT gives its decision and still any person is aggrieved, either the borrower or the creditor, they can prefer a higher appeal to the appellate tribunal. This is the DRAT. DRAT within 30 days from the order given by DRT. Then there are certain requirements. You need to deposit 50% of the debt which is demanded by the bank or determined by DRT, which can be reduced to 25% also. So the appeal can be filed without any conditions. Not true. You need to submit 50% of the debt. The appeal must be filed within 30 days. Yes. A deposit of 50% of the debt demanded by the bank for determination. Correct. And the DRT can reduce the upfront deposit to 25% for valid reasons. So, not C, the correct answer will be D, 2, 3, and 4. The condition is that if you have to make a higher appeal to the appellate tribunal, you have to deposit 50% of the debt. D. Yes, the correct answer will be D. All right. And then obviously, whatever decision is taken by the DRAT will be final. All right. This is under the SARFAESI Act. Now, under the SARFAESI Act, we had the rule that debt overdue more than 20 lakhs can be taken to the SARFAESI Act or the DRT. What about below that? They can be taken to the Lok Adalat, right? Recovery through Lok Adalat, which is the easiest, cheapest, and fastest mode. So, answer this question. It is considered what is the legal status of an award made by a Lok Adalat? It is considered a recommendation without legal binding. The award is deemed to be a decree of a civil court. It is a preliminary judgment subject to appeal in higher courts. The award requires ratification by a civil court to become effective. Very, very important question. Answer this question. Till then, let us go through the points. Lok Adalat is organized under the provisions of the Legal Services Authorities Act of 1987. Right? Basically, legal services to be provided free by competent legal services to the weaker sections of the society. No, it is not considered a recommendation. It is a reward. It is deemed to be a decree of a civil court. Whenever a decision is taken by a Lok Adalat with the acceptance of both the parties, it cannot be taken to a higher court. All right. So the decree or award made by the Lok Adalat will be final and binding to all the parties in the dispute, right? And no appeal shall lie to any court against the reward. Please be very clear about this. The award or the order which is given by the Lok Adalat will be final, right? So whenever any party they decide to take the case to the Lok Adalat, NPAs in the branch with dues up to 20 lakh rupees. This is one rule. Whenever, let's say, any case is referred by a civil court to the Lok Adalat, that is also a possibility. Then other provisions are there. Like when we file a case in a civil court, we have to pay a fees. When the civil court says that this decision comes under the jurisdiction of the Lok Adalat, it can be solved through compromise, mediation, and the Lok Adalat gives a suitable decision which is accepted by both the parties, then the court fee is returned to the applicant. So these things are there. All right. Yes. So the Lok Adalat gives the award with the consent of both the parties. All right. Next question. How is the Lok Adalat chaired and what is its decision making process? Who chairs the Lok Adalat? It is chaired by a bank official. The Lok Adalat is presided over by a sitting or retired judicial officer. Decisions are made unilaterally by the presiding officer. Unilaterally means by hearing only one party. Consent of both the parties is crucial for passing an award. Answer this question now. So, under the Act, we have the National Legal Services Authority, the Legal Services Authority for the state, District Legal and Taluk Legal Services Committee. Right? These are the four levels. These are established or organized at intervals and places wherever necessary. Cases up to rupees 20 lakhs can be referred to Lok Adalat, right? If we talk about the presiding of the Lok Adalat, then which of the following is correct? Is it chaired by the bank official? No. The bank branch official can go and take a permission from the regional office with the regard to the proposed terms of settlement in the Lok Adalat. Right? They will contact the borrowers, convince them the benefits of settling the matter through Lok Adalat, but they will not chair the Lok Adalat. It will be chaired by a sitting or retired judicial officer. And we have already discussed the decisions are not made unilaterally but by the consent of both the parties. So, if both the parties do not agree to the decision taken by the Lok Adalat, then the decision will be reversed. It can be taken to the civil court, higher court, or any other court. All right. So, both the parties should agree. In the event of failure, then it will be taken to any other court. All right. So the correct answer is option B, 2 and 4. 2 and 4. Next question. What are the transaction limits and requirements for using the Bheem app? Yes, answer this question now. The Bheem app has a transaction limit of 20,000 per transaction and 40,000 per day for one bank account. Users can link multiple bank accounts to Bheem without any restrictions. To use Beam, a user needs to have their mobile number registered with the bank and a linked debit card. And the Beam app requires an Aadhaar number to be linked for all the types of transactions. Yes. Which of the following statements are correct? So, is there a limit on the transactions? Yes. And the limit that is given to us is correct. Can the users link multiple bank account without any restrictions? No. There are restrictions here. The user needs to have their mobile number registered, correct? And does the Bhim app require Aadhaar number to be linked for all type of transactions? This is not correct. So the correct answer here will be 1 and 3. So option B. Yes. Option B is the correct answer. 1 and 3. I hope this is clear. You understand how the Bhim app works. All right. Next, what is the timeline and compensation for the auto reversal in ATM transaction where cash is not dispensed? So now we are talking about the customer's liability, the turnaround time. When let's say the customer they go to the ATM for a debit transaction, but it is not dispensed and the account is shown to be debited. What is the turnaround time or auto reversal? The auto reversal within T plus 1 day with 100 rupees per day compensation beyond T plus 1 day. Proactive reversal of the failed transaction within a maximum of T plus 5 days. 100 rupees compensation per day of delay beyond T plus 5. And auto reversal is not. Yes, so we can cancel out options that have 4 as correct. Then what else? What is the auto reversal limit? The correct answer is option C, that is 2 and 3. 2 and 3. Proactive reversal of the failed transactions within a maximum of T plus 5 days. And if there's a delay beyond T plus 5 days, then the customer will receive a compensation of 100 rupees for each of the delay, each day of the delay. All right. And now we have the last question for today. What are the provisioning norms for the standard assets? Do banks need to follow some provisioning norms for the standard assets also? Yes. They need to follow higher provisioning requirements for the substandard or doubtful category. But for standard assets also, they attract some provisioning, keeping aside. So for farm credit and SME sector, loans required 0.25% provision. Commercial real estate loans require 1%. Residential housing sector 0.25. Other loans and advances require 1.5% provisioning. Which of the following statements are correct regarding the provisioning requirements? Yes, answer this question. So let us go through the provisioning norms. Loss assets should be written off. If they are permitted to remain in the books, 100% of the provisioning should be done. In case of doubtful asset, 100% of the extent to which the advance is not covered by the security. Apart from that, it differs from 25 to 100% depending upon the time period for which it remains in the doubtful asset category. Substandard asset, 15% provisioning is required. And for the standard assets, yes, farm credit to agriculture activities and SME at all the other loans and advances not included in any of these categories attract provisioning of 0.40%. Not 1.5 but 0.40%. All right. So the correct answer will be option A, 1, 2 and 3. Apart from this, there's another category, the advances to the commercial real estate in the residential housing sector. That is the CRERH. It attracts 0.75%. This is 0.40%. I hope all these provisioning requirements are clear for the different types of asset categories. And that is all for today. We have completed the module B. All the important topics, MCQs are done. We will meet again in another session for module C very soon. Now, here's an important information. The JIB all-in-one Crash plus Cracker batch has already started. You can join this course where you'll get full revision and live practice of the MCQs, 200 plus full mocks, sectional case study tests, 80 plus live classes, 50 plus live MCQs case study classes. And if you join this course now, you can use the code FEST, which is the Mahavir Jayanti special, and it ends tomorrow. You'll get flat 50% off on your subscription. All right, so join the course now. Start with your preparation because your exams are very close and you need to gear up and give your 100% towards your preparation. All right, so that is all for today. Thank you so much for attending. If you found the session helpful, make sure you like the video, you share the video, and subscribe to the channel so that you do not miss any of these sessions. Comment down below if you have any doubts, any queries, any question related to the course, topics, anything. I will see you again in the next session.